The first capture was taken on July 15th, 2026 at 1:36 a.m.
James Blunt just released a video called You Taste Like Summer, where he kidnaps a guy, dances around him, parties around him, even chases him around for a little bit, and then eats him in the final scene.
Tyson Foods is shutting down more plants, and a lot of Americans are cheering it on.
Anyway, I told him the meat was green and yellow and pussy and it had holes in it, like deep holes.
Did you hear about the thousands of women who are showing support for Lindsay Clancy, a mom who's 3 kids to death in Massachusetts? These women have donated more than $1 million to Lindsay Clancy's family.
Hey you guys, welcome back to another CZ Reacts, where we watch to find weird, crazy, and interesting and question everything. Real or fake, you decide, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I will meet you there after the video. Video is for entertainment purposes only. Oh, trigger warning or two, maybe, because I don't know what we're gonna see, but I know what I'm aiming for. So yeah, thank you to you. We are gonna get right into it.
Yo, what the f***? You cannot make this shit up. Hayden Panettiere talked about how she was set up basically to be abused by a British singer on a yacht when she was just 18 years old. But she didn't say specifically who it was. Well, people like Nathan Juggin on X got to digging and found photos from a 2009 Cannes, France trip on a yacht with singer James Blunt and Hayden's friend Diana Jenkins that proves pretty conclusively that this is who she was talking about. Guess who just released a video 5 days ago where he's eating somebody for dinner?
What?
I'm not joking. James Blunt just released a video called You Taste Like Summer, where he kidnaps a guy, dances around him, parties around him, even chases him around for a little bit, and then eats him in the final scene as he sings, and that's dangerous. This is the kind of evil, depraved crap the elites shove in our faces, and the normies just eat it up as another pop song. This is not just another pop song. This is them telling you who they are, and we need to hold them accountable. Yo, what?
Yeah, they put it in our faces. Like, I also don't watch music videos. But yeah, that is just gross. And because I don't follow the story that's been going on with her, for those of you who do, is this accurate? I don't know. Real or fake, you guys? Let me know.
Some brand new amazing Bigfoot trail cam evidence has just come out. The first capture was taken on July 15th, 2026 at 1:36 a.m. in North Carolina. Pretty much a rural property owner set up a trail camera right towards the edge of their property, right behind their back porch. They had reportedly been experiencing, quote, Bigfoot activity for weeks, until they finally caught one clearly and confirmed their suspicions.
My goodness.
Listen to this interesting observation by the Squatch Watchers.
It looks like this creature has been crouched in this spot several times. If you can tell, the bushes are pretty cleared out from the center compared to left to right, how high the trees are. This one's pretty wild.
So it looks like the Sasquatch would frequently hide in this spot, maybe watching the residents.
Oh my goodness, but they
Because of this capture, they set up more trail cameras. They put one out in the woods across the river, further out, to see if they would catch it again. And sure enough, they did. This time it's seen hunched over, likely trying to blend in with the brush. Analyzing the first capture as well, it's seen sitting down, and it looks to have its arms out grabbing something, maybe its foot. It's hard to see what exactly is going on, but the creature itself is easy to see. It looks more humanoid shaped, not quite as bulky and muscular as some Bigfoots are described, although it could just be the angle too. Also, the section of woods behind them is reported to be extremely vast, with countless of acres of deep forest land, a perfect spot for Bigfoot to hide out. So did these homeowners really catch Bigfoot on their remote land in North Carolina? The photos look super compelling and realistic, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
What do you think, you guys? Did they catch Bigfoot, Yeti, Sam Squanch? Damn it, I went Trailer Park Boys, not Sam Squanch. Oh no, what is it called? Sam Squanch is stuck. Sasquatch. Did they catch Sasquatch? What do you guys think? And then for people who don't believe, I'm not going to call her out. For people who don't believe, what is enough evidence? Like, that's like my brother, one of my brothers. We go back and forth on mermaids and Bigfoots all the time. And he's like, there's no evidence. I'm like, well, what do you consider or accept as evidence? Because there is documentation, there are vocals, there are photos, there are cameras, like, yeah, out in the, like, what would you, like, who has to say it for you to believe it? You know what I mean? Like, what is sufficient, ooh, I said that right, evidence? Let me know.
Tyson Foods is shutting down more plants, and a lot of Americans are cheering it on. A lot of people are saying good riddance because they have now seen the other side of this company, and it's horrifying.
I worked second shift, and I saw a lot of crazy shit. You go to work drunk. You could go to work drunk off your ass. Everybody there, except the older people, were drunk. Yes. Down to the meat. I knew I wasn't going to work there for long when I told that little dumbass supervisor, he was younger than me. When I started working at Tyson, I was 23 years old. My supervisor was younger than me, so you know he was stupid as fuck. Anyway, I told him the meat was green and yellow and pussy, and it had holes in it, like deep holes. That's cancer. So when we showed that to our supervisor, I was like, run it anyway. If you got cancer and you ate McDonald's or wherever Tyson Foods distributed meat regularly, it was probably the motherfucking meat. I ain't lying. I said, oh, and then when it come out them big ass cans, and I worked where you had to push the shit in this big ass blender and push it on down the line. It was motherfucking terrible. It got so bad, McDonald's was sending the shit back. If you eat at McDonald's now, your stomach should feel a little bit better, because when I worked there years ago, McDonald's was sending the meat back because the meat was smelling horrible and it was terrible. But that's just some of the shit that I've seen. I've been waiting to expose Tyson. We can make this a series if you want to, but we're going to start here. This part 1.
And it gets worse. Between 2018 and 2022 alone, Tyson dumped 371 million pounds of pollutants into U.S. rivers and lakes, polluting 87 billion gallons of wastewater.
Tyson Foods is caught dumping 87 billion tons of toxic waste into America's rivers and lakes. This article goes over how Tyson dumped so much toxic waste it was enough to fill 132,000 Olympic-sized pools with all of these chemicals that are linked to cancer, blood disorders, thyroid disease, and brain defects in children. So what they're dumping here is cyanide, nitrates, chlorine, phosphorus, and oil directly from these 41 plants into public waters across 17 different states. So the scary thing about this is that most meat processing plants don't even have to report figures. So this doesn't even encapsulate everything that's going on in our country, in our meat supply, and in our water supply, guys. So 15 states in this article suffer drinking water with a higher than permitted level of nitrates, which leads to blood disorders and brain defects in infants, and have been estimated to cause up to 300 cases of cancer a year just in one state. This is just in their Iowa plant alone.
Holy.
Half of the contaminants found in the study were dumped in the waters of the states of Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, and Nebraska. And 8,000 tons of Tyson's biggest plant in Dakota City, which is
Tyson Foods.
I'm flabbergasted right now. It's really sickening. Does anybody in the subs or who's watching have worked at Tyson? That would be really interesting to hear from.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay. Wow. And the Earth fights back. Wait, is this like an oil drilling? Oh, that's scary. Holy cow. Oh. Wait, what? Person. Oh, okay, I have no idea. I have no idea. This is optical. I don't even know. Okay, it totally looked like a did they also melt that? Like, real or fake, you guys?
Y'all are never going to believe this. I just got the best news ever from Social Security in the mail. They told me, which I think is a little weird, they told me that my disability has ended. I am no longer disabled. Like I said, I think it's weird because, you know, I still have to use a wheelchair. I still can't walk. Still need to park in handicap spots. But I guess because I make over $1,450, whatever the minimum is, I think that's about it, less than $1,500 a month, I'm no longer disabled. Thank you, American government. Let me put my handicap sign up. Okay.
How crazy is that? Like, you cannot live off of $1,400 or $1,500 anyway. And I thought it was like you reach that amount, they deduct whatever you went over for the next one. Like, I wonder how many people this is happening to. That's absolutely insane. Shouldn't there be like a physician involved? Like, how do they just like, oh, you're no longer disabled? But clearly, granted, yes, there are people who are greeters or work or some it's not the wheelchair thing, but how do they know what her condition is? Isn't there a physician involved? Wow. I'm just now like, that Medicaid bill, that whole thing just went through. Does this have anything to do with that? Like, I have no idea. I'm not in the States, but this is just wild.
Did you hear about the thousands of women who are showing support for Lindsay Clancy, a mom who strangled her 3 kids to death in Massachusetts? These women have donated more than $1 million to Lindsay Clancy's family and are showing videos of themselves being mentally unstable and saying they identify with Lindsay, and it could have been them too. Lindsay Clancy killed her 3 young children, 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan in January of 2023. She strangled them in the basement of their Massachusetts home and then jumped out the window trying to end her own life. Lindsay, who is now paralyzed, is on trial for 3 counts of first-degree murder, but she has pled not guilty by reason of insanity. Her defense is arguing that she was experiencing postpartum psychosis, and she heard voices that told her to do it. The defense says Lindsay felt she was protecting her children, while prosecutors say she deliberately planned out these killings and she is a murderer. If convicted, she could face 3 life sentences without the possibility of parole. If she is found not guilty by reason of insanity, then she would simply just walk out of court, but then she would be committed to a psychiatric facility. Women are showing up to Lindsay's trial wearing pink to support her because they say it's not about whether or not she killed her kids. They're saying she should have been taken seriously when she kept telling mental health professionals and her husband that she was mentally unstable. What do you think of this story? Leave a comment to let me know. I'm Tierica with the T.
Oh my goodness, that's so sad. That is such a serious struggle. I went through major sleep deprivation and just losing my mind. I felt like with my son when he was born. He every 2 hours was up to feed for 6 to 8 months. It was extremely difficult. Never to the point where I wanted to do any kind of harm, but completely breaking down that I was losing my mind, just so unbelievably getting depressed. And I think women should be taken seriously. And anybody when they speak out I'm at a breaking point. There's a reason they say breaking point or snapping, because you are then stepping over a line of something that is you. And I feel like that should absolutely be taken seriously when somebody talks about mental health. What a tragedy. I don't even, this is 2023. This is the first time I've ever hearing about this. I didn't know. I don't know how old, Tierica with the T, her story is. If there's more updates, feel free to drop them in the comments. But just focusing on the mental health part, 100%. If someone, I feel like that is the cry for help when someone just says, I'm reaching a breaking point. That is them telling you. Nothing more should need to be said, but I feel like it's also very overlooked that, oh, people say that. Let me know your thoughts.
Well, hello. It's Vegas Paulie C, and this area is under 60 feet of water when Lake Mead is full, but it is not full now. This is the ghost town of St. Thomas, Nevada. At one time, 500 people lived here, but in June of 1938, the rising waters of Lake Mead overtook the town, and its last resident, Hugh Lord, set his house on fire and left. This was originally a Mormon town, but in 1871, they redrew the state borders for Nevada, and the Mormons were then asked to pay all sorts of taxes, and they said, forget about it, we're leaving. So when they left, others took over their abandoned properties. As you know, Lake Mead is at a record low right now, 1,040 feet, which is 189 feet below full pool. So this ruin has reemerged, and there is no water anywhere close to this. But when you think about the fact that normally, when the lake is full, which last happened in 1983, there is 60 feet of water over your head. Now this is 126 feet below full pool of Lake Mead. I have no idea, baby Khaled, where Lake Mead even is. It must be so far that way, I would imagine. Solar desalination. That is what I would do. It's 150 miles from Death Valley to the Pacific Ocean. So if you built some tunnels, brought in some water, gravity will control the whole operation, and then you do solar desalination, baby Khaled. I'm going to put it in the comments. But right now, Lake Mead is at a low point of just below 1,040 feet, and this is St. Thomas, the ghost town that was abandoned in June of 1938 when the rising waters came over here. You know, it's hard to believe that this entire valley area is full of water when Lake Mead is full. Look that way. Wow.
That's crazy.
Vegas Paulie C.
I always wonder what kind of structures are under a majority of the lakes. Probably a lot, if you know any good ones to look into. But yeah, I know I've seen some where people are scuba diving and there's structures under the lake. How many lakes have been put over a town or something? Is it purposely hidden, or is it just like we needed water here at one point? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know.
What's that? Oh, a study was done to figure out why so many people say they feel so good in the woods and around trees and nature, and what they found out is insane. Tell me more! There's this study done that was in Japan where they had people go out in the woods for just one weekend, and then they actually tested their blood to figure out what was going on, if anything, or if it was just something in their head that made them think they felt good in the woods. But what they found out is that trees emit these chemicals called phytoncides, and they found that when you inhale these phytoncides when you're in the woods, it triggers a massive spike in elite white blood cells that go in and try to track down anything that is trying to harm the body, and then it takes it out. Meaning it would take out virus-infected cells as well as tumors. They ended up finding out that this one weekend in the woods and inhaling those phytoncides that the trees emit lasted and gave that immunity boost for up to 30 days. Oh, goody.
Unless you have one of those like camping experiences where like everything goes wrong, I have yet to meet somebody who doesn't like feel great or just have the best time when they take a bit of time off to go camping. I know I do. I love to unplug and go camping and just be out there for a few days. You always feel amazing. Agree or disagree? Let me know.
This building was apparently built in 1386.
It's so
which
pretty.
is roughly 700 years before the invention of the first ever power tool. 700 years before power tools. Do you believe that?
No, because it's so crazy.
I want you to ask yourself, without a power tool, or any kind of modern tools like spirit levels or anything, how would this be done?
All I think of is like mud
And the short
pies.
answer is, without technology that's been lost, it wouldn't. This was created by a different society of people who had way, way, way more advanced technology than what we do.
It's so beautiful.
The detail on it, and it's perfectly symmetrical as well. It's exquisite. And it couldn't be replicated today.
I just think of like mud pies. Like, you know, we used to throw them on the side of the house. That's that's what I think of when I'm like, they say the date and then like no power tools. And I'm like, okay, mud pie huts. Like how? That building is like beautiful. How? I feel free to drop your theories, comments, information, all of the above down below.
What's something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
Happy birthday is witchcraft. Touch wood is an ancient magic ritual to summon the tree spirits. Turning the lights off and chanting happy birthday while blowing out candles and making a wish is a form of magic rituals. Black mirrors were used to contact spirits, and we use them every single day. They were called scrying mirrors. Scry became screen. When you are praying, you are trying to cast a spell to change reality with your words. The word abracadabra translates to I will create with my words. This is why we call it spelling. It's a spell. Birthday rituals are making you age quicker. When we say how old are you, we are tricking our subconscious mind that we are old. When you jinx something, this is a jinn, which is an invisible creature within the astral planes.
What?
Okay, I have to ask, how many of you feel like that? Like, so we don't do the happy birthday, the singing, or the candles. We still acknowledge the day and do something special, and I always have cake. I love cake. And like my birthday is coming up in September, middle of September. And I'm turning 27 for the umpteenth time. And I always say maybe my body believes that because, look, no wrinkles. Like, I make a joke about it, but I'm like, maybe it is a thing when you speak that out because, hey, I've been 27 for some years now. So, yeah, making fun, but let me know, like, what do you think? Do you think there's truth behind that? And what about the praying part? Because I am a prayer. Got that. How do you guys feel? Like, what do you think about that? Let me know.
Real talk, no one was born in 2005. That ish don't even sound right.
My son was.
Come on. Mom, I know my son, girlfriend. I know him better. Best friends. What's good? Some things are better left unsaid, but you know me, I'm gonna say it anyways. That's a fact. If we talk, you're not single, we in a pending relationship. I don't care, some of y'all. I've never met someone who's lactose intolerant that actually cares they're lactose intolerant. People wake up at 3 p.m. and say, what's the move? Bro, the day already over. I knew school wasn't for me when I cheated on a test and still failed.
Damn.
That's tough. So tired of these 2 to 3 month relationships. Lord, if I'm an oil change, just say that. The next person that walks out of my life, I'm going with them. I'm sick of my...
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just social on social media. I'll walk right past you in real life. Yo, POV, you don't have a gaming PC or an oven. I could have been making pizza rolls this whole time. Jokes aside, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Bro, I'm the joke you just put aside. That one person who doesn't talk in the group chat, but you can tell they're reading everything. Oh, God. Professor, what inspired you to write this essay? The due date? Like, what else? Girl, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Girls in a 10-mile radius. Join you, I must. You can put 30 different fruits in a smoothie, but you put a banana in that MF, it is now a banana smoothie. I need new friends. Shake my head. How was your day? Shut the Real
Oh, y'all don't remember when Lindsay Lohan live streamed herself trying to take a Syrian mother's kid, so the Syrian mother, hit Lindsay with a mean right? What? Oh. Y'all remember Lindsay Lohan, right? You know, she was the girl from Mean Girls. Big actor back in the day. She did Parent Trap, all that. And then she got into a little bit of trouble. Had a very public battle with addiction. Now, I don't know how much that battle with addiction applies to this story, but regardless, she cruising through the streets of Paris. She spots a family on the street. She says, my word, it's a family of Syrian refugees. What should I do? Lindsay Lohan reaches for her phone. She pops on Instagram Live. Everybody says, oh my goodness, it's Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan said, no, but let's get serious. Lindsay Lohan shows the family living on the streets. And now I'm not going to show you the family, but I'm not going to hide reality from you guys. And this is when the family had a problem. Strap in, this story is about to get weird. Lindsay starts speaking in a full-on Arabic accent, talking about some, do you need some help? The family said, huh? What'd she say? Girl, we don't speak English. Accent, no accent. The family couldn't understand her. Lindsay said, okay, let me just make my accent deeper. Do you need some help? Mom starts smiling at Lindsay, talking about, okay, girl, cool. Pops turns around. Lindsay starts talking about some, okay, y'all finna sleep in my hotel tonight. Lindsay looks at the kids. She says, y'all want to sleep in a hotel tonight? The kids go, huh? She goes, y'all want to sleep? Y'all want to watch TV at my crib? They go, I mean, girl, I don't speak English. The kids said, Mommy, what's the bad lady yapping about? Mama said, you know, just smile. She finna go away real soon. She didn't go away. Here's where things start to get wicked. Lindsay said, all right, everybody, it's time to go. Except for Pops. He stay over here. He can't come. Lindsay's comments started talking about, girl, what? Lindsay said, y'all heard me? He not going nowhere. Oh, but Lindsay keep going. She said, Mom, you shouldn't even be having your kids on the streets in the first place. Come on, it's time to go. Give me them kids. It's time to go. The family didn't understand what she was saying, but you could tell when somebody's getting aggressive. The family started talking about something. Oh, no, this lady wilding. Come on, we gotta go. The family gets up. They start leaving. Lindsay don't let them just leave. She starts following. And it's actually like a scene from a horror film. Lindsay starts talking about some, give me the kids, give me the kids. But then Lindsay screws up. She grabs the mother's child, and boy, that's the last thing you should do to a mom. Mom immediately turns around, post up, don't do no talking. Yeah, hit Lindsay with a mean right. Lindsay, boom, hit the floor. Start talking about some, ooh. And you know when them folks say, ooh, they in distress. Lindsay start talking about some, mama got a mean right. I don't want no problems. Y'all got it. Syrian mama start jawing in the background. Now my Arabic's a little rough, but it sounded like mama was saying, yeah, Lindsay, see what happened when you touch my kid again, boy. Lindsay start talking about some, y'all got it. Lindsay puts her face on the camera and instantly flips to victim. Wildest flip I had ever seen. Lindsay flips instantly to some, I was just trying to help. And they hit
You don't touch nobody's kids.
Start talking about something. Oh my God. Lindsay said nothing. And that's where I'm going to end the video. I want you to be just as confused as everyone else was. There was no answers to this afterwards. That was it. I do pray that the family got the help that they needed, though. This event was like 7 years ago, so hopefully they're on their feet now and everything good with them. No matter where you are, no matter who you are, shelter is a basic human right.
You never touch somebody's kid. Like, what was she thinking? Who knows? Who knows what she was thinking? And on a live. This video is actually in 2 parts. So moving on.
All right, so there's this rumor going around that Katy Perry a nun, and I'm here just quickly to tell you she didn't do it. Kinda stupid. You thought I was about to leave? Look at the time. We gotta talk about Katy. For starters, why she had a problem. There was this crib, right? She wanted to buy it. It was $14 million. She said, okay, cool, let me get that. They said, oh, you know what, Katy? There's some nuns that live there, so you can't just like buy it straight up. Katy said, but I got money though. The Archbishop of California said, I said nuns live there, but just for the sake of argument, how much money are we talking? Katy said, just about $14 million. The Archbishop said, oh, praise God. Sold to the lady who sang I Kissed a Girl. The nun said, I kissed a what? And this is where the problems began. See, the nuns had no idea who Katy Perry was. So they did a little bit of Googling. They seen I Kissed a Girl. They seen wild performances and all that. The nuns was like, oh, no, no, no. See, the nuns had been living in this house for decades. It was a convent. So they didn't want to just give it away to somebody who, in their words, didn't share their values. The Archbishop and the Archdiocese, on the other hand, said, oh, yes, 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 we need money. You see, the Archdiocese of California was forced to pay $880 million for, let's just say what the Catholic Church usually gets in trouble for. If you're a little confused, look in the comments. Katy Perry, Jim Carrey, Halle Berry, whoever wanted to buy the house, they were going to sell it. The nun said, y'all broke, that's y'all problem. We not leaving. We not selling it to Katy. The church said, yes, you are. The nun said, or what? See, dragging out nuns from their home would be a pretty bad look. So the church and Katy came up with a plan. Katy realizes that the nuns just may not know her like they think they do. Fun fact, Katy Perry grew up in a very religious household. So she said, look, why don't we just set up a meeting with the nuns? The nuns say, all right, for sure, come through. Katy Perry pulls up. Katy Perry said, look, nuns, I'm finna just sing y'all a song. The nun said, that would be nice. Katy Perry pulls out her phone. She starts singing some church songs. She says, oh, happy day. The nun said, it's a no for me, Katy. Katy says, no, like no to the song, or no, like y'all not selling me the house. The nun said, no to both. Now here's where things start to get wicked. Thing is, the nuns had bought the house in like the 70s, but it was still technically kinda owned by the Catholic Church. So the Catholic Church said, okay, look, nuns, we just finna sell it to Katy Perry, and y'all just gonna have to make that. The nun said, okay, bet. Archbishop said, okay, cool, that was easy. All right, Katy, sign here. So Katy said, boy, you ain't hear how they say bet? Them nuns up to something. And boy, were those nuns up to something. They went behind the church's back and sold the house to a woman named Dana. Now listen to this next part closely. Dana bought the crib for $15 million and told the nuns that she would be opening it to the public. The nuns loved that. But see, what Dana meant by opening it to the public is what Dana was gonna make it into a hotel. Katy said, Dana, you shiesty, huh? Dana said, Katy, nothing personal. I'm just all about my paper. Katy said, speaking of paper, here's a paper saying that I'm suing you. See, Katy and the Archbishop had a case. They were doing business to sell a home. Whether the home is the nuns or the Archbishop's, Dana entered that business transaction illegally. So boom, it's time to go to court. Question 1, is the house for the nun or the church? The judge didn't want no problem, so they went straight to the law. And it turns out houses that are over 7 million, which this house was, belong to the Vatican. So the court said, woo, Katy, if you want to buy that house, don't talk to any of these folks, go straight to the Vatican. But the judge said in order for Katy to buy the house, first, Katy must find a new place for the nuns to live. Now, question 2, did Dana enter this business transaction illegally? Yes, she did. You can't just slide in and take somebody's house when they're already in the middle of a deal. There's a little more to it, but let's just say Dana came in bad faith. She knew Katy was gonna buy the house. She knew the nuns didn't like Katy, and she exploited that.
Damn.
In fact, a jury said the exact same thing. Dana was fined $5 million. Dana said, $5 million? What? The judge said, excuse me, let me just add on $10 million on top of that for the fun of it. Because I don't like your attitude. Those were nuns, mama. Dana said, well, I'm finna be bankrupt. The judge said, well, bankruptcy court is next door. Oh. Dana goes to bankruptcy court. This is her going to bankruptcy court with the nuns. The nuns decided to stick by their girl Dana until the end. And right before the nuns enter into bankruptcy court with their girl Dana, they went on the news and they said, Katy, stop all of this nonsense. And sadly, those were some of the nuns' last words, because as soon as she goes into the bankruptcy court, she collapses and tragically passes. The other nuns said, Katy, this is your fault. You caused all this stress. Katy Perry said, what? The Archbishop said, what? Katy, you still want to buy the house? Katy said, the Archbishop said, if I could talk to the Vatican. And Katy said, Nah, it's good, bro. And the sale expired. And this is why people think Katy Perry a nun, which she clearly didn't. But I say kinda because, like, what if the nun really was stressed and, you know?
I didn't know either one of those stories, but that nun house story, that is insane. So anything over 7 million in that category belongs to the Vatican. Are we really surprised though? I mean, I kind of was, but at the same time, it's like, go figure. Yeah, no, storytelling every time. Really like this guy. I always forget his name. I know it starts with an X, but yeah, didn't know either one of those.
So, like, I bought this chair, right? First of all, who would be dancing on a chair? And then who the heck would be shooting a gun while laying down?
What happened here? And how often are these things happening?
Oh my goodness.
Come on, Florida.
Yo, what? There's no way.
Quicksand?
Danger. Quicksand. That's crazy, bro.
What's this? Warning, visitors with no sense of humor are advised to turn back now. Management is not responsible for any damage to feelings.
I like that one.
Warning, dog has a gun and refuses to take his medications.
Stop.
And there's a new invasive species swarming our backyards. It's called the Asian tiger mosquito, and it's known for biting during the day.
Hey, we have enough. It's enough going on. We don't need a new species of bug. Who keeps coming out with new stuff we can't use?
Guys, the US government just did something that you're not supposed to be able to do. They just put a date on a volcano eruption and it could be happening tomorrow. The government's volcano observatory has sensors watching the summit inflate like a balloon as magma fills up underneath, and once it hits a certain point, it basically just pops. They're saying that the next eruption that could be happening from this volcano could happen anywhere as near as today all the way to next Thursday. And they're saying that it isn't just a lucky guess because it's the 53rd time it's erupted like this since December of 2024, and they keep calling these windows right almost every single time. You're obviously not supposed to be able to predict a volcano, but they've basically turned this one into a recurring schedule. They say that the last episode went off on August the 12th and sent lava about 500 feet into the air for almost 10 hours straight with a plume going up 18,000 feet. Each one is a direct wall of lava fountaining out of the crater, and you can see it glow from miles away. It's all happening inside of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, so people literally drive up and camp out to watch it in person. The alert level is only an advisory, and it's not threatening any towns at all, so this is basically just a front row seat to a free movie.
And people still ask me, have we gone to the moon? Exhibit A.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
It could have been scary if it happened. Exhibit B.
Let's look at the photo. You say that's me? Okay. Check out the name badge. It says Aldrin. Looks like you're right. But notice the helmet. Can you see my face? No. This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first extraterrestrial prank.
Yes, of course, we all know that he's just joking. Exhibit C.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
Of course, then he caught himself and started talking rationally. So did we go to the moon? And it's also not only the moon, he had secret knowledge of a cryptic Antarctica. This tweet was real. We are all in danger, it's evil itself. Posted from news articles. It sucks to be so blurry, but it was a real tweet. I did enhance it, and this is around the whole topic that there's a secret pyramid under the ice in Antarctica. But why is an astronaut going to Antarctica? Turns out that Nasha, believe it or not, is one of the few places to be doing research in Antarctica. Oh, and guess what else? The North Pole Project by Nasha. So, for some reason, these astronauts are also connected with the two places on the Earth that almost nobody ever gets to go to. Then he starts making cryptic tweets about pyramids, about how the world's in danger, it's evil itself. Believe it or not, those three places are all connected. And here, very shortly, all of humanity is going to know what's going on with these three locations. There's something hiding on the Earth right now. Something that'll show that all history is a lie. It's not what you think, and it's also not aliens.
I gotta ask, why would you guys think he's coming out and saying this? I know he's been saying it for a while. I mean, if I had to guess, speculation, when you reach a certain point or age in your life and you've been part of like a deception and you just want to get it off your chest, maybe. Speculation, I don't know, but it kind of just makes sense. What do you guys think? I know we have a lot of people who think we went to the moon, a lot of people who think we didn't. So what do you make of this clip? Let me know. So they do have alarm systems for earthquakes? I did not know this.
Well, it would appear we find ourselves in a diner, and there's a gentleman sitting at the bar enjoying a meal, and he gets up, he's rummaging around a little bit, has another drink, then he grabs something, and it looks like he's grabbed a cigarette. He's going to go outside and have a post-meal smoke before coming in and finishing up and paying his bill. And you want to guess what happened? If you guys didn't pay his bill, you would be correct. And this happened at the diner in Orlando, which, as the name implies, is a diner. And like many diners, they deal with dine and dash. It's something that happens, and it sucks. It's very hurtful to small businesses, especially. They had about a month or so back a whole family that did this, and we posted online. We ended up finding them despite the fact that they live in a whole nother state because, you know, Orlando gets a lot of tourists. And now they've had this situation. And they don't appreciate this guy taking advantage of their goods and services, their hospitality, and then walking out without paying. So now we're going to do this. I cleaned up the security footage to get this. I showed this to the staff. They said, oh, that absolutely looks like him. So we're going to go ahead and have everyone take a real hard look at this. He could be from outside of Orlando, but honestly, he's got like a bummy local scumbag vibe going. Regardless, wherever you are, take a good long look at this, and someone do me a favor. Tell me who this is.
I can't believe that people still do that in a day and age with cameras everywhere. That you would go to a restaurant and eat and just slip out. Like, to me, that's wild. I could never imagine. Like, that people are still doing this.
So here's the unfortunate part about anyone who lives near Gary, Indiana, or you were affected by what is going on now, 11 days of darkness. Unfortunately, when the power goes out, the water treatment facilities are unable to clean that water enough for it to be safe for the residents in that city. They may have told you guys to boil that water. Unfortunately, and this is going to affect a lot of people. Once your power is cut back on, I'm going to ask every single resident who is in Gary, Indiana, or near that city, you will need to get tested. I'm not going to say for what, but when that news comes out, because that water, when you take a shower, it seeps into the biggest organ on your body, which is your skin, and it goes into your system. Unfortunately, you will need to get tested, and if something comes back weird, there's going to be a huge lawsuit. So Gary, Indiana residents, be careful of your water at this minute. I'm out.
Wow, I can't believe people are still without power. I'm going to have to find some clips. Drop your information, you guys. If you have any updates, please put that in the comments. That is so crazy. I didn't know that they have gone this long without power as of now.
Okay, so 15 years ago, an alien apparently photobombed somebody in Taiwan. Check this story out. This guy is Park Patrol Officer Shen Yongqiang, and as he was walking through Yaiming Lake, deep in the Taiwanese Central Mountains, he decided to take a nice picture of the beautiful scenery. But when he looked back at the photos, he saw something very strange. That's right, he took this photo. And when you first look at it, it doesn't really seem that strange. But when you zoom in, that's right, upon closer inspection of that image, you can make out the transparent shape of this tall, alien-looking figure with a mantis-shaped head and long, spindly fingers, casually walking along the mountain ridge.
This is
And
before
Officer
AI.
Shen used an iPhone 4. And remember, this was all the way back in 2011, so AI wasn't a thing back then. And the really crazy thing is, after over a decade of professional analysis, the image shows absolutely no signs of tampering, editing, or manipulation. And not only that, but back in May of this year, the FBI released a historic batch of UFO documents and Shen's image turned up inside them. And the official FBI analysis of the image describes it as showing a legitimate physical entity that defies conventional human anatomy. And so the question is, what on earth did Shen Yongqiang snap on his iPhone 4? Was it an alien? Was it a demon? Was it something else entirely? Let me know what you think down in the comments.
It almost looks like those, I was going to say centipede people. Okay, that's terrifying. I don't even know where that came from. The grasshopper people things. The grasshopper manta rays? Manta rays? Holy crap, come on. You're so close. I can see it. Hold on. Mantis people. I have to spell stuff out sometimes in sign language for me to click what I'm seeing because I just can't get there. The mantis people. Is that the right word though? Right? Like the mantis alien things, doesn't it kind of look like I don't know. That is so crazy. Let me know what you think on this one.
Just think the whole theory is kind of dumb, and I'm going to use this whole chicken to prove my point, so stay with me for a minute. You would never look at a chicken in this state and assume that when it was alive, it looked like this, because this is anatomically ridiculous. We know that the chicken didn't have these little nubbies. There was obviously like a wing attached here at some point, because that would make sense. So why are we applying that same logic to the T-Rex? Do we really think that this massive apex predator was just running around with his little nubs? Like, y'all really looked at the T-Rex and couldn't think of anything else this animal could possibly be? No, just a giant reptile with his little nubs. Like, it's ridiculous. This doesn't make any sense. But you know what does make sense is this. This makes way more sense to me, so I need somebody to explain to me right now why a T-Rex is not a dragon. Listen, that's a conspiracy. You sound so dumb right now. You sound dumb. You sound dumb with your little nubby arm theory. So we can have our differences of opinion. If you want to keep your little nubby arm theory, you freaking go for it. I'm going to be in Whimsy World, 100% believing in dragons.
Girl, I thought you were going to give me a recipe, not life-changing information. No, because for real, have you ever seen a hippopotamus skeleton? They look insane. I don't know. I feel like the hippopotamus skeleton is like, it actually... kind of makes sense. I have no qualifications to speak on this, but I fully endorse this theory. I'm in the midst of deciding if this is silly, but the whimsy is so fun, so like, yeah girl, it's a dragon, I don't give a fuck. A rabbit skeleton. Literally nobody would look at it and say it's a rabbit. Agreed. What? That is a dinosaur. Or a dragon. That's a dragon. A dragon isn't that hard to believe with giraffes walking around. My fat ass stopped to see a recipe. This is an ostrich skeleton, just saying. Dinosaur. Just looks like a dinosaur. Or maybe... Hey look, another dinosaur. I mean dragon, damn it. Girl, where did you get that Ariana Grande looking ass chick?
Damn.
That's terrible. I must have forgotten to screenshot that comment and I can't find it now, but someone said something about a penguin skeleton and how we would think they had really long necks.
Yeah.
Again, dragon.
I was gonna say the neck.
Came for a chicken recipe, stayed for the truth. A T-Rex is not a dragon because it has 2 legs, not 4. Less of a dragon, more of a giant chicken. Chicken, like, chicken, it's a dragon, damn it, it's a fucking dragon.
All right, you guys, I am going to end it there. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, shout outs to the members, to the subs, to all of you liking, watching, viewing, hyping. Again, thank you for the hypes. Okay, I'm going to start working on the next one for you. Do not forget to question everything. Until next time, stay safe. And yeah, you guys stay tuned. Next video coming soon.